Remember, I said that my book was coming in? Well, it's here. It came yesterday. This is the book. Yes. So, this course that I am teaching you right now, this is the actual book for the course. I've written this book for you. If you are no longer able to get into these videos or listen to the podcast or anything like that, you can actually get a copy of the book of this course on Amazon, but you can also get it on my website, which those of you who are on the video right now, you're on the website. So go where it says books. It will be the very first book that you see. Go ahead and purchase the copy of that. And in detail of how I am explaining everything, I'm going over the lessons with you. It's in the book in detail, full detail. So you can go ahead, even the assessments, all the questionnaires and the self assessment evaluation for personal boundary setting, all that is in this book. You can write in it, it's yours. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can even purchase a copy of this book and give it to a friend. Now, if you don't want it in paperback, I also have hard copy. If you don't want it in paperback or hard copy, you want it in digital, it comes in ebook as well. So definitely check it out and get a copy if you prefer to have one. So let's go ahead and get into today's lesson. So excuse me for drinking my wine. It's Pinot Noir, and I'm not gonna say who it's from because they're not endorsing. I'm not endorsing them. So, but that's what I'm drinking right now, Pinot Noir. Mm-hmm. Pinot Noir, however you pronounce it. But yes, I'm drinking that. And excuse me if you are feeling like, why is she drinking? Well, that's what I do. I enjoy myself, and a glass of wine helps me to relax a little bit more due to the fact that I am anemic and it helps thicken my blood. How do I know that? Because my doctor told me to. And I am doing what my doctor said. Doctor say, hey, you don't want to take iron pills, then guess what you can do? You can eat the food or drink the food. How do you do that? She said, get you some liver. I was like, oh, well, I don't mind eating liver, but I can't do that every day. Get you some spinach. I said, well, I can eat spinach every day, but how much do I need to eat to get to the level I need to be at? She said, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Get you some red wine, not the sweet kind. And I was like, I drink red wine. She said, well, that's what you do. So when I go to the doctor now, my blood is a lot better. My red blood cells, I would say. Anyways, that's why I'm explaining it. If you see me drinking my wine, you know why. I don't drink wine every day, though. But I do every week. I don't let a week go by without drinking. I'm going to tell you that now. Anyways, let's get off me and let's talk about today's lesson. Today is day 1 of week 10, and we're going to talk about the importance of boundaries. I remember telling you about this because I said I'm going to teach you about boundary setting at a later week, what we hear. So boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and personal well-being. They serve as limits that define acceptable behavior, ensure respect, and protect individual physical, emotional, and mental health. Here are several reasons why boundaries are important. Number 1, self-care, well-being. That is at the top. I put that at the top because most people choose to put it at the bottom. And this is the reason why you find yourself getting taken advantage of. So, boundaries help individuals like you, help yourself prioritize your own needs and your own well-being. You have to put it in the top. It's your priority, all right? By setting limits, people can ensure they have time for self-care. So when you set limits, you will know that you have the time to take care of yourself. which is critical for maintaining mental and physical health. Okay? Another reason why boundaries are important because of respect and mutual understanding. Clear boundaries foster mutual respect in relationships. Did you know that? Yes. If you didn't, then you probably say to yourself, that's why they're not respecting me. Yeah, you don't have any boundaries. When I used to tell people, get some standards, that was actually my way of saying set some boundaries. But at the same time, that's part of why you're being disrespected, okay? So what it can help with is communicating personal values and your needs, reducing misunderstanding and potential conflicts. That's why you have to have these boundaries. You don't have to worry about being misunderstood or you misunderstanding them, and then y'all have a conflict with each other and you're not understanding what's going on. Also, it prevents burnout. So, what I do to prevent burnout, I stop talking to people. Yeah. Like these past I would say past week, almost 2 weeks now, I haven't made any phone calls to talk to anybody. Not my mother, not my aunt, not my best friend. Only person I talked to was my son because he's at my dad's house. And I want to check on him and make sure he's good. And that's pretty much it. Even though my dad is right there next to him, I don't even ask to talk to him. I just like, are you good? How things are going? I've been on the phone for maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes with him and then I get off. And that's me because during this time, I am on a mental break. I just had my 2nd-year wedding anniversary with my husband, and his birthday was yesterday as well. So I didn't want anything bothering me during that time. I wanted to be completely comfortable and have all my attention on my husband as well as myself because this is our time and no one is interrupting it. I'm not going to allow anyone to interrupt what we have going on. And one thing I learned about my family, especially my mother, she will like have a lot going on in her world and then she would dump it on me and then I'm like, okay, wait a minute, enough is enough. I can't take all your problems now. Some of these problems are self-inflicted. Like you literally have done some of this to yourself. And with all that being said, I don't want to go deep into her situation. What I'm learning here is that I had to take mental breaks for myself. Now, I have to give my best friend credit for this because she was the first to start doing this. She would be like, look, I'm not going to probably talk for the next 2 weeks. So I'm just letting you know I'm not ignoring your phone call when you call. I just need a mental break. And it's so much going on with whatever is going on in her world. She'll be like, hey, I just need a mental break. So I'm not going to have no conversation with anybody on the phone. I'm not going to be talking on social media. I'm not going to do it. None of that. So, but if it's an emergency, then hit me up. And then I will reply back. She said, but hit me in the text. And at first, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like was taking a little offense to that because I was like, dang, we talk almost every day. And, but I had to start thinking like, wait a minute, I'm dumping my stuff into her. Yeah, I'm not giving her a whole bunch of negative information, but some of the stuff I'm talking about could be overwhelming because she can't process it all like I can. Like I learned to process things in a different way. And I had to learn to respect her because she processes things and then she holds on to it and she worries. Me, I process things and then I analyze it in a certain way and then I say, okay, you know what? This is what needs to be done. I'm a fixer. That's who I am. I like to fix things. I think that's the reason why my mom keeps calling me all the time and telling me all the stuff that's going on because she knows that I can come up with a solution to help fix it. And most of the time it involves me doing the work, and I don't like that anymore. I'm gonna tell you how you can do this. You need to do the work, but I'm not gonna come there to do it for you like I used to. And with my best friend, I learned with her that she's not like the way she used to be when we was younger, and she was able to take things and then just be a listening ear. Now it's bothering her to where she can't sleep at night. And I'm like, ooh, you know what? You need this mental break. And I'm not gonna call you. I will respect your time. And let me know when you're able to talk. Send me a text and say, hey, sis, are you good? Can we talk? Then I know she's ready to talk. And that's part of something that I have adopted because I feel like that's healthy. Maybe you should adopt it too if you feel like you need to take a mental break. So, what do setting boundaries do? Setting boundaries in professional and personal content helps prevent burnout. It allows you to manage your energy and your time more effectively, avoiding overcommitment and stress. Now, I want to make another statement about that. Um, I had done a, what is it called? So I did a conference earlier this year in October. It was October the 7th, actually, and it was called the Free Yourself Comfort. Now, with that, what happened with that was that it was for individuals like you who needed to be free from domestic violence and how to understand what you was going through, that you wasn't going through it alone. I had guest speakers from doctors to police officers to life coach and other counselors and school teachers, and including myself as well as victims. I wanted my best friend to be one of the panelists. Excuse me. And because she had went through some domestic violence before, and I was thinking that maybe she'd tell her story, maybe she could help someone with her story. Well, as we got closer to the date, so I had planned this a whole year and a few months ahead of time, and I had asked her when I first decided to do this. So keep in mind, she had a year and a few months to make up her mind or whatever to let me know. And I remember her telling me that she didn't want to do it. It wasn't the fact that she didn't want to do it. It was more so of when she told me she didn't want to do it. It was actually 2 weeks leading into the date of the comfort. And I was thinking, like, who I'm going to get to replace her. And I was in my feelings about it. I'm not going to lie. I was in my feelings because I felt like she should have told me this way before, when she realized that she wasn't able to handle talking about her situation, even though it had happened years ago and she had been long over, well, at least I thought she was long over that relationship. But in a situation like that, you have to understand that everyone is different. So you don't want to burn them out or get them in a position where they feel like they have to say yes to you when they really want to say no. So I had to say to myself, well, even though I'm in my feelings about her telling me at the last minute, at least I have to understand why she can't do it. And of course, I did get a replacement for her. It was another young lady who had contacted me and asked me, could she talk and tell her story? She was like, hey, I'm ready to talk about my story. Is there any room for me on your panel? And I told her, wow, you called in just a nick of time, because I was thinking, who can I get to replace her? Because I need another survivor to talk about their story. And it worked out. It worked out. And yes, my best friend still came and she was sitting in the audience, but other than that, that's what it was. But I have to let you know this because you have to not take everything personal when someone set a boundary on you. Now, you got your own way of setting your boundaries, but you got to realize they got boundaries too. All right? So respect their boundaries as well. Also, another reason why it's important to set boundaries is for healthy relationships. If you want to have healthy relationships, boundaries are very vital for this, okay? Boundaries contribute to healthier relationships by creating a framework for respectful interactions. People know how far to go with you. By what it does, it helps to maintain your individuality while being a part of a relationship, because some people forget that you're still human. You're still one person. Yes, you might be in a relationship with somebody or you have friends or whatever, but you're still yourself. So there's things about you that you need to make sure that people know that they can't cross, what line they can't cross. It also ensured that you feel valued and respected, okay? Also, personal growth and autonomy. Boundaries encourage personal growth by fostering a sense of autonomy and self responsibility. They help you take charge of your own life and make individual and independent decisions based on your own needs and your own desires or what you really want to do. It also helps you to develop self-confidence. All right. Protection from harm. Yeah. If you have boundaries set, you protect yourself from getting hurt. Boundaries act as a protective mechanism against physical, emotional, and psychological harm. They help you avoid situations and interactions that might be detrimental to your own health and well being. Clear expectations. By defining what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, boundaries set clear expectation for behavior. Just like having a child. You tell your child no, no, no. They know not to do this, okay? And then you say yes, you can. Then they know, okay, it's all right to do that. All right? That's the same thing. People might say, I'm not a kid. But hey, you still have to understand you was first a child before you became an adult. And those rules and those guidance that you had growing up still applies, because how else you feel the need to be able to let people know how far to go with you and how far they can't go with you. All right. So this clarity helps you manage. It helps managing relationships more effectively, as everyone involved know the limits and the respect that they have to have, whether you respecting them and they respecting you. They know. Don't ever assume that people they should just automatically know. Don't do that to them. Don't be like, well, he's grown or she's grown, they should just know the rules. No, they don't. Everyone don't know. Like, some people are comfortable with corny jokes and some are not. I'll say, for instance, when my husband and I, when we went to St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands, we was on the golf court with another couple, and the lady's husband started telling some jokes. To me, I think those jokes was offensive because they was kind of racist. And yes, he was a white guy, and they was kind of racist. And he was telling a joke to the driver, and the driver was kind of trying not to engage, but I can tell that the driver has engaged with this person before, because why was he so comfortable telling him this joke? And he was like, hey, you ready for another one? That's exactly what he said when he got started. And the driver was like, well, not right now. We can do this when we just by ourselves. That's what the driver said. But yet the guy, he was drinking, of course. He had some drinks and he was feeling himself. And he went on to start telling the joke. And my husband looked back like, dude, did you just say that? And then I'm looking like, touching my husband like, babe, we on vacation. Let's not get into a fight with somebody we don't know. I'm touching him like, we on vacation. Even though we could take it there, but we're not going to take it there. I'm more of the reasonable one. I'm the one who look at things far ahead and know where we're going and the destination of what we're trying to get to. So I want to enjoy the journey of getting there. I don't want to argue and fuss and fight to get to the destination. So let's let this dude go on by his way. We know to stay clear of him, okay? And of course, the driver let him off first. He didn't take us to where we were going first. He took them first just to get them off. And then when they got off, the driver was apologizing. But I'm saying to myself, but yet you know what this guy was going to say, because you have been engaging with him before, for him to say, are you ready for another one? he gave you one before. Mm. Did we tip him? Nope, we didn't. Mm-hmm. You looking for a tip, you weren't getting it that time. And me and my husband were very big with tipping. Matter of fact, sometimes we tip more than we do. I tipped this guy $20 one time just to bring me a napkin. You're like, what? Yes, I did. Because I understand how hard they work. But it's just what it is. Anyway, so, and plus I'm a flight attendant and I know how hard I work. So I get it. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, let's keep going. So it does protect you from any type of harm, and it also help you with clear expectation. It also help you improve communication. Now you see, how do it help to improve your communication? Yes, it does. Establishing boundaries require clear and honest communication. This practice enhances overall communication skills, making it easy to express needs and concerns openly and effectively. Because when you set your boundaries and you're able to communicate with the person, this is what it is. This is what I don't like. This is what makes me feel uncomfortable. This is what I'm okay with. This is what I don't have a problem with. They know, okay, when you get with her, don't say this. It's okay to say that. Excuse me. Address her this way, not that way. If you get mad, realize she will also, she can go there with you too. That's all I'm saying, is that you have to understand how to express yourself in a better way. And we will talk about assertiveness. So empowerment and assertiveness. Just mentioned that, right? So setting and maintaining boundaries empowers you to assert your needs and rights. It promotes assertiveness, enabling you to stand up for yourself and make sure that you are heard in any situation. All right. So, and then you have balance and harmony. So what do setting boundaries do? Boundaries help maintain a balance between personal and professional life. Have you ever been somewhere and you go out with some colleagues somewhere and you like, okay, we're in a professional setting at work, but now we're no longer at work. We're out maybe at lunch or at a restaurant or even at a bar. People show you who they really are at a bar. I'm gonna tell you that now. They get to drinking, and you really get to see who they are. That's one of the reasons why I don't like going out with the pilots. I have learned a lot about these pilots when we are at a bar, and I have backed up off of it tremendously to a point where I just tell them, nope, I got things to do. And they're thinking like, what you got to do? They don't know that I do more than just a flight attendant. They don't realize that I'm an author, and that I'm a life coach, and I have other things going on, that I'm really busy, and I have a husband and a son. So I don't have time to entertain you, especially when I have learned so much about you in this short period of time. Some pilots, they don't have a problem with showing you who they really are from the jump, because they feel like they're the boss when they're really not. You just a boss of this plane, but you're not a boss of me. And that's part of the thing that I've learned over the years of 8 years of being with the company. Some pilots are nice. Some are very, very respectful. And then you got those who are not. I can identify you like that. Just like that, okay? Which character I'm dealing with. And I will clearly let them know I'm not going out with y'all. Because I'm telling you, the first time you get out of line with me, there will be issues. And we're not flying back. Because I can refuse to fly with you. We ain't flying back. You're going to have to find you another flight attendant. And you better hope to God that flight attendant is close by. Because you're going to be stuck here for a whole nother day messing with me. I'm gone. I will get on another flight and hop myself somewhere else real fast. And have I done it before? No, I have not, because I didn't have to. Most of the time, these pilots don't mess with me like that. But I have witnessed them mess with other flight attendants like that. And I'll tell them in a minute. Just like You can write a, they can write a grievance on you. You can write a grievance on them. And I have had upper management call me and ask me questions about the pilots and stuff like that. And I was like, look, I'm not gonna say no names, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. But I have no problem with letting it be known. Yes, she was crying. Yes, he said this. I heard it, and I'm not. I don't play with men being bullies on women and preying on women, especially the young ones, because there's a lot of young girls who just get started in the working field and they become a flight attendant because with my company you can be 18 when you start, and these girls get taken advantage of. And I have watched some of these girls do some things that I have questioned them about. Like, hey, do you know this person? And they like, no. Well, you might want to dial it back some because you've been a little too flirtation. And if you don't want to be giving up your goods, stop acting like you do. And that was part of the reason why I became so protective of some of those flight attendants, because I saw some things that I didn't like, you know. And part of me, I don't know, maybe God got me in this business for a reason, but what I do know is that you have to learn to set boundaries, and you have to learn to set clear expectation. And your boundaries will help you to balance out what is personal and what is professional. Also, with your relationship and your own individual needs, because you have needs. You don't realize how far you can go with neglecting yourself. So you have needs. So what you want to also do is learn how to establish healthy boundaries. Let's talk about that. How do you establish healthy boundaries? Like, I've been sitting here talking about what they do for you, but how do you actually make it work? Number one, what you want to do is have self-reflection. Understand your own needs, value, and your limits. All right? Understand those things first. Then communication. Clearly and assertively communicate your boundaries to others. All right? And then consistency. You got to be consistent in enforcing your boundaries. Don't let things slide. Enforce that. The minute that they get out of line, they need to know they had gotten out of line so they won't continue. All right? And then respect for others. It's not all about you. All right? So respect the boundaries of others as you expect them to respect your boundaries. All right? And then be flexible. Flexibility is very important while maintaining the core boundaries that you have. Be flexible and open to adjust when necessary, because you might be a little too hard, a little too tough. So loosen up some, all right? Be a little gentle sometimes, all right? And then seek support. When you are uncertain about what might be going on with you, you might need to seek some type of guidance from a life coach, a therapist, or even a counselor. Therapy and life coaches, counseling, it works. It helps. It helps you to establish and maintain your boundaries as well. So boundaries are a fundamental aspect of healthy living and relationships. They promote well-being, respect, and personal growth, making them critical for a balanced and fulfilling life. So this does end today's lesson. Tomorrow we're going to talk about techniques for setting and reinforcing boundaries for a new relationship. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow.